students, the first batch of our HR college and KC College and Bombay Teachers Training College, which is going live for lectures on YouTube. And today, our induction lecture with Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, a great personality who has been with us a long association. He is, we should say, a stalwart or a master on Chanakya Neeti. And I welcome you on behalf of HSNC University and 3 colleges. And let me request Professor Shubhda to kindly introduce him. A warm welcome to Dr. Radhakrishnan. Over to you, Shubhda.
A very good morning to respected dignitaries and my dear students. I, Shubhada Kanchan from the Department of Mathematics and Statistics at HR College, am immensely proud to introduce Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai for the 5th day of the induction program. Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, India's #1 business author, is the author of 17 best-selling books on Chanakya, including the international bestseller Corporate Chanakya. He is a PhD from the University of Mumbai and has done extensive research on Kautilya's Arthashastra from Chinmaya International Foundation at Kerala. With nearly 25 years of experience, Dr. Pillai is a leadership speaker, trainer, and personal mentor who trains leaders and aspirants from various fields, including corporates, politics, academics, and public services, including the Indian Army, Navy, Air Force, and Indian Police. He is a certified management consultant from the International Institute of Management Consultants. Dr. Pillai is the director at SPM Foundation and founder director of Atmadarshan Private Limited, a spiritual tourism company, and Chanakya Anvikshi Private Limited, a leadership training and mentoring institute. He is also the creator and deputy director of Chanakya International Institute of Leadership Studies and Institute of the University of Mumbai. He has written nearly 200 articles and papers for various magazines, newspapers, and journals, and has given a TEDx talk on how to become Richie Rich. He is also a visiting faculty at prestigious institutes in India and abroad, including the IIT, IIM, Indian Institute of Science, among others. He has been awarded the prestigious Sardar Patel International Award 2009 and Avishkar Chanakya Innovation Research Award 2013 for his research and contribution in field of management and industrial development. Recently, he was honored with the Lokmat National Education Leadership Award as the best professor in philosophy. He is rated among the top 30 Indian management thinkers globally by Thinkers50.com. Sir, it's an honor to have you with us today. I request you to deliver your talk.
Thank you so much. A warm good morning to each one of you. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Himlata ma'am. It's an honor to be part of this particular wonderful induction program because this time I'm not addressing one college. This time I'm actually addressing a university with 3 colleges. So when you called me up the other day and said, that we have grown big, I said, no, you're not grown big. Now you're going to become globally big. And I said, wow, this is a great opportunity. And the next time you told me that you have to give a lecture, then the first thing in my mind is Neki or Puch Puch. Because when you called me up in the evening, in the morning itself, I was speaking to Shivanandan sir. And he told me about the lecture he delivered on that day. I said, wow, what a great connection that we have. 3 of us, myself, Shivanandan sir, and you, all 3 of us on the same day are speaking about the future of the university. And when you told me that I have to be a part of this university, I said, why not? It's like seeing your baby grow. And now you say, beta, ab tumko khud ke pair pe khada hona hai. So as teachers, we are so happy when we see not just students growing, but our institutions also growing. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate HSNG University. So now all of us will be known as a university. And of course, all the leading principals and the management team of HR College, KC College and RTT College. So याद रखिएगा, जब बच्चा बड़ा होता है ना, तो उसको अपनी cousins की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत पड़ती है. So many times when you grow big, you say, now I'm actually grown big, so I don't require my friends, my family. I want to be independent. So I want to start with one small story story about management. More than a story, it's actually a theory which I love. It is said that, people, individuals, go through three phases in their life. The first phase is called as dependency. The second phase is called independency. And the third phase is called interdependency. Okay, so let me take a small example. There's a small child. When the child is born, it is totally dependent on others. It can't do anything. It can't move on its own. It can't, eat on its own. So it is totally dependent. The only thing that it can do is cry and make some voice, and the mother will come, everybody will come. Totally dependent. But you know what happens when the children grow up? Okay, they become teenagers, like all of you, the students over here. They don't believe that, I want to be independent. So they suddenly become rebels and they look at each other and saying that, मैं अकेला कर सकता हूँ या कर सकती हूँ. So suddenly you want to be independent. Nothing wrong in that. You don't want to be dependent. You don't want your mothers to check what your mobile you are looking at. They don't want to know which is your friend circle. So this little bit of an independency, I can do it on my own. Okay. But comes a third phase in your life. When you grow big, you mature and you realize we all require each other. Okay, and that is when you realize that the life is about interdependency. And for all the girls and the boys of the future who will become parents, we also, I don't want to get married. That's okay at this phase. But when you become a parent, you start realizing we require a whole family with us. We require the dada, dadi, nana, nani, chacha, chachi, masi, mama. Therefore, in the South African community, it is said, you require a tribe to bring up a child. Okay, you require a complete tribe because that's more a tribal thing. In India, we say you require a family to bring up a child. And the family in India is always extended family. Okay, so parents, dada, dadi, nana, nani. Remember, I'm telling you two families, mother's side also and daddy's side also. Dada, dadi and nana, nani. At the same time, you require cousins. So I just want to tell you, friends, the journey for our university, HSNC, will be now interdependency. It's not about proving yourself. You already proven yourself. That is why you got the university status. पहले starting में prove करना पड़ता है. अभी proven हो गए हैं, तो एक दूसरे को मदद करना पड़ता है. So friends, I am so glad that I'll be part of the university journey from day one. Thank you, madam. Thank you for all the principles. Because I have been part of many universities, but I'm telling you, the kind of an energy that has been brought in these three colleges is phenomenal. I have visited all the three colleges independently, individually, and I see a collective consciousness now. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you for arranging this lecture. So friends, let me now come to my topic, my favorite topic. मुझे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं आता, एक ही चीज आता है, वो है चाणक्य. But as somebody said, एक ही चीज में सब कुछ है. So in that one thing you have everything. So when I was discussing, saying that it's very simple for me to speak on Chanakya Neeti for students and teachers. Why is it easy for me? Because of two reasons. Reason number one, I myself am a teacher in the university. And I also believe that every teacher is a lifelong student. Okay, so I thought, let me understand from both perspectives, what should be the role? And I know that I'm actually addressing three categories of people today. Three, yes, the teachers, principals, all the professors, that's one category. Second is the students who are listening, we're all going live and so many students are watching it. But there is a silent spectator, the third category. You know what are they? Your parents. I know this is the first time that parents are getting access into the classrooms. So I know that, the parents are also wondering what is this lecture. But I'll tell you, I have always looked at it positively because a lot of parents are getting a chance to go back into a college without being formally enrolled. So my dear parents are also listening. A lot of pranams to you because you have put your children in one of the very beautiful institutions. So you have made the right choice. Okay, so parents always wonder whether my child will be safe, whether my child will go in the right teachers. So you have taken the best decision. Okay, so congratulations. So in this lecture, even though I'll be speaking about Chanakya Neeti for students and teachers, there are a lot of lessons for parents also. So parents, you also be students, okay? I can see all the teachers already taking notes. So students also should take notes. Yes, you see the pencil. I also have a pencil ready with a lot of notes. I request now parents also take up some pen and paper, okay? But I want to warn the parents before I start. Why are you warning the parents? Yes, I'll tell you the reason why. Because a child's education, okay, is dependent on three factors. One is the child itself, second is the family, and then comes the education institutions. Okay, but remember one thing: when you put a child into a school, you cannot enter the gate. So in college, you can come for the parents teachers meeting, schools you can do, but today you have access. And I've seen a lot of parents complaining against the quality of teaching. Friends, parents, we are happy to get your feedback and we want your feedback. But remember, this is an induction program. I want you to give that particular freedom to the child and also to the teachers to do the experiments that we do. Please understand this. A university is about experimentation also. So don't try and comment on small things which you feel may not be right. Remember, my dear, when you have a child, let's say a patient in your family, one person has met with some kind of an accident or maybe a disease. You trust that particular doctor, isn't it true? So that you will take the child till the doctor will diagnose it, and then let's say the patient is getting operated. Doctor is very nice, but what the doctor says, wait, you cannot enter the operation room. You cannot enter the operation room. So there is a limit. Now, what is happening inside? Don't worry, you already have a good doctor, good nurses. So you can choose the hospital, but you cannot have the freedom to go inside the operation room because that is the place where only experts can enter. Okay, it is not meant for everybody. But today, fortunately, okay, all of you can enter into the operation room. All classrooms are actually operation rooms. We don't operate on the body. We actually work on the minds of the child. We give them values. We give them culture. We give them knowledge. And they come out successfully. Okay. So friends, please understand this. Help the students to learn more as family members. But don't confuse them. And please don't comment on the teachers. I'm strictly telling this one very important thing. Please don't comment because many people say, iska English theek nahi hai. Iska English theek nahi hai. That is only one parameter. Remember one thing, every single teacher has gone through a process of being tested to become a teacher. So don't think that, I say teacher ban jate hain. Ask all the principals, they'll tell you, एक teacher के post में 200 लोगों की line लगती है. So if you think there's a teacher is not teaching well, maybe just because of the communication skill, that's only one part of a teacher. So my third audience over here, okay, please understand this, give the respect and the freedom to the teachers. The teachers are never perfect, like every human being, but the teachers are better than you. So if you have trusted an institution, please trust the college authorities and the teachers. Yes, you can discuss, but don't make it a negative thing. Remember, why am I telling you this to parents? Be a participant and why not be a student also? In fact, I've seen so many colleges. In fact, in the Mumbai University, at the Department of Philosophy, you'd be surprised to know there was a batch I saw where the grandfather and the granddaughter attended the class together. And actually, the grandfather topped the class. Okay, he got a gold medal. So that is the kind of a learning culture you should bring into your family. Instead of looking at who is teaching, what they're teaching, why don't you also become a student? Maybe formally you may not be able to give an exam. So I'm looking at all the family members, parents who are listening to also look at this journey as your journey. Pehle ke zamane mein, learning used to stop when you come out of a college, when you get a job. But today learning is a continuous thing. Friends, understand this. This is a foundation course, an induction program. Your journey has only started. Okay, your journey has only started. So let me start my story with my teacher. Huh? I also had a teacher. Yes, every teacher has a teacher. And every teacher was once a student. I remember, my children go to a school called as Vani Vidyalaya. Very beautiful school, 60, now it is almost 65 years old. And I remember in the 60th year, I was alumni of that school and my children go to the same school. We had got Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as part of the organizing team. So, I love a lot of education institution. I like to give lectures. I like to be part of the syllabus forming community. And I'll also commit by organizing programs, okay? So I know how much difficult it is for the teachers to organize today. So in one of those particular seminars, I remember we had got Abdul Kalam and all those things and very good. My daughter was there. Everything was there. But after that, I remember my daughter was in the first year of the school, junior KG as we call it, So all of you are the first year students in a college now. So I remember the little children, when they came, Okay, they were all crying. Nobody wants to go inside, isn't it? But as a parent and being part of the committee, I had the access to go into the classroom. Thoda sa privilege tha. But you can't sit in the classroom even if you're a part of the committee. So I remember that all children were crying and coming, and after the gate, the parents can't enter. So all the children were taken inside the classroom and they were made comfortable. And I was standing at the gate along with the principal. The name of the principal is Dr. Dolly Henry. She was my teacher and now she's the principal of the same school. So I was looking at this whole thing and I asked Dolly Henry, Madam, how do you feel today on the first day of the college? Sorry, first day of the school, little children coming in. She told me something. She told me something which actually struck my heart. Remember, I was asking the question as a parent, but I learned the biggest lessons as a teacher. You know what she told? She told, today we have young little girls, toddlers, I would say, boys and girls, who are not even confident of what is going to happen inside the classroom. Okay, they're crying. My responsibility as a principal is after 10 years or 12 years, 10 plus 2 education system or now the new education. But after 12 years, when we walk out of this gate, they'll be confident youngsters to face the world. I said, wow. So the parents have trusted, the children have trusted this education system, entered. But it's a responsibility of the principal, the teachers to make sure when they walk out and belong with a degree, they're confident individuals to face the world. My dear friends, have confidence. Students, have confidence. Teachers, have confidence that you are a part of a great university now. So अंदर क्या होगा वो छोड़ दो, लेकिन बाहर जो आएगा वो प्रोडक्ट बहुत अच्छा आएगा. Everybody goes to manthan. Okay, so even a gold is refined, it's heated. एक तपस्या है ये. So when you don't think about education and degree, okay, it's going to be a changing of your personality over the years. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. There'll be a lot of challenges, but so what? Gold, you want it contaminated or refined one. So you will go through a refinement process. There'll be so many teachers who will help you. There'll be friends who will help you. But finally, when you come out of this particular lovely institution, finally, as a pass out, you'll be confident individuals. So friends, I just wanted to give this opening statement because since it's an induction program, I want you to be having a best mindset of how to be a great learner. Okay, friends? So with that, let me come to my topic. That is Chanakya Neeti for students and teachers. Okay, so I already addressed the parents. I'll not address you anymore. So I already taken care of my third category of listeners day one itself. And I know parents always love their children. So their intentions are not bad. But sometimes because they are not fully into the education system, they may not know the challenges of the education system. So instead of being a part of the problem, be a part of the solution. Thank you, parents, for having the confidence in us teachers and this great university of the future. Thank you so much for being part of this. Now, let me talk about Chanakya. And why I like this particular topic, because Chanakya himself was a great student and became a great teacher. He's a great combination of an ideal student and an ideal teacher. So many people think about Chanakya as a great teacher. Of course, he's a great teacher, but the journey is very different. So let me tell you a little bit of a story about Chanakya. Chanakya was a young boy and he had 3 names: Vishnugupta, Kautilya, and Chanakya. 3 names of the same person. His father was also a teacher. His name was Acharya Chanak. The Jain scriptures call him as Acharya Chini. Okay, so Chini, ya Chanak, the son got the name Chanakya. And he also had a name called as Vishnugupta, which is like the official name, So many people have official names and pet names. Pet name was Chanakya. And he also had an academic name, that was Kautilya. So he wrote the Kautilya Arthashastra. So this young boy was a brilliant student. Okay. And then life took him to a great university. Like you have a HSNC university. So he went to Takshashila University. He went over there and he topped the class. And you know what happened? The vice chancellor of the university and the vice chancellor during the graduation ceremony. All of you are entering now, but you'll pass out with the graduation degree, isn't it? That is going to be like the fun day you should all look out for. Okay, the real day when you're graduates. And during the graduation ceremony, it is called as Diksha Samaroha. Diksha is graduation and the ceremony. So our little Chanakya was declared the best student of the year, the best student of the course. And the vice chancellor said, I congratulate all the students for successfully passing this particular course in our university. I wish you all success. Every vice chancellor is happy when all the student passes. And by the way, I want to tell you one formula, secret formula to all the students. Don't be afraid of exams. There is not a single teacher who wants their students to fail. Okay, so we all the teachers want you to pass. Of course, you have to study very well. So if you have that particular image in your mind, the teachers are villains, they are not. Not a single teacher wants a single student to fail. Okay, so have that confidence that they're not your enemies. But yes, do your best and leave the rest. Do your best, study best. So the formula here is that we want 100% pass, not just pass, excellence. So take away that fear that there is some enemy who's going to take an exam and fail us. No, he's not an enemy. He's a mentor, guide for life. Okay, so this particular batch of students of Takshashila University, all of them passed with flying colors. And the Vice Chancellor said, I'm so happy, 100% pass with flying colors. Everybody in a merit rank. Wow, what a great batch, isn't it? But he says, I want everybody to go home and whichever field you work in, choose, be a leader in that particular field. But what? I don't want one student to go from this university. I want him to stay back. What happened? One student? Is he failed? No, he is the best student. Mr. Vishnu Gupta, I want you to stay back. Why? What happened? What wrong did I do? Are you going to punish me? No, I want to elevate you. Elevate you what? I want you to be a teacher in the same university where you are an excellent student. So the Vice Chancellor is saying that here is a role model student, but he's also a role model teacher. You should continue teaching in our university. Here is my first lesson for all of you. If you are good students, think about teaching as a career. Oh, teaching as a career, will it give me money? Will it give me job? Let me tell you, even if you earn lots of money, finally the most respected person, the most respected profession in our culture is teaching. Ask all our principals, they will tell you, आप कितने भी धनवान हो, लेकिन जब एक प्रिंसिपल का फोन आता है, आप नहीं बोल नहीं सकते. Remember, so teaching is not just a profession, but a profession that creates all professions. So, unfortunately, many times we have this image, कुछ नहीं किया तो teacher बन गया. That is a wrong thing. Today, being a teacher is a choice. And by the way, let me tell you, by the grace of God and all the leaders, past, present, and future, teachers are also getting paid well. So don't think that, कि कुछ नहीं मिला तो teacher बन गए. But yes, you should also demand and command that respect because of an ability of leadership and teaching. So friends, Chanakya not only demanded, but he commanded to be a teacher. So nobody told him. He never demanded, I want to be a part of it. He said, no, the kind of a work that he did as a student. So Chanakya became a teacher in the same Takshashila University. He studied a lot of books, did a lot of research, and also he did a lot of amazing work. He wrote 2 books called Chanakya Neeti and Kautilya's Arthashastra. Okay, so teachers also write textbooks, by the way. Teachers write research papers. So teaching is not only lectures in the class. Okay, let me tell you, according to standards of universities, it's also how much research papers you are published, how many books you are published. So for all the students, let me also tell you, the parents also, let me tell you, that teaching is no more just a lecturing work. It's also research and publication work. Okay, so just to give you an insight, in the induction program, the teaching is also a very, very strenuous job. And it's an intellectual job. You can't see the work, but the work can create an impact in the society. So Chanakya studied very hard. He continued to be the best student, but became the best teacher also. What a great life, The best student becomes the best teacher also. And he writes a book which becomes a bestseller for generations to come. Chanakya Neeti and Arthashastra. Even today, we refer to those books after 2,400 years. So friends, for all the students, okay, Chanakya is your ideal student. So please study about Chanakya's life. I've written a book called as Chanakya in the Classroom. Please, you can Google it, Chanakya in the Classroom. You will see what should be the attitude of a student also. And of course, for the teachers also. So now what I'm going to do, since all of you have your pen and paper ready, I'm going to give you 3 formulas, simple formulas for students and 3 formulas for teachers. Chanakya Neeti for students and teachers, right? So first, let me address students. Don't worry, I'm not going to make it very theoretical and boring. These 3 formulas are actually 3 words. Okay, so students, remember these 3 words, and lifelong, you'll be a great student. Ready for this? So I'm going to use simple words but profound words. आज के लेक्चर के बाद सारे स्टूडेंट्स इसको एक प्रिंट आउट लेके हाथ से लिख अच्छे डिजाइन के साथ स्टिक इट in a place where you can see it every day, maybe your mirror, maybe your room, but every day in the morning when you get up, you should be able to see that. These 3 formulas, okay? Induction program is a starting program, but not the last program. Okay, I'll talk about it in detail later on in the other future programs that I will do. But just remember these 3 words. So if you want to be a great student from Chanakya's learnings and life, the first word for all of you to practice is Shraddha. Okay, develop Shraddha in the teachers. So students should develop Shraddha. What is the meaning of Shraddha? You know, there is no exact translation in the language of English. That's why I first use the word Shraddha in Sanskrit. Or Hindi also we have this name. A lot of people have the names also Shraddha. But Shraddha is faith, if you want to understand in English. But I'll tell you, it is not illogical faith. Some people say belief. It is not blind belief or blind faith, okay? It's a very high quality of a student. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, okay, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Shraddhavan labate jnanam. Okay, the person with Shraddha achieves knowledge. So knowledge is not just about studying, okay? A lot of people think that if I got good marks, I'm a good student. No. See, that is something as only one parameter, getting good marks and topping the class. But there is an inner attitude that is called Shraddha. Please understand one thing, friends, that when you're a student, okay, you enter the classroom, okay, and there'll be many other students, 50, 60 students, or sometimes more also. But there is one teacher. Now you have to understand one thing, that it is like in that 1 hour class or maybe 45 minutes class, whatever the duration of the class, you should have tuning with the teacher. So it is like, you know, when you're talking to a friend on the mobile, the first thing is range barabar hai kya? So if the range is not correct, there'll be a lot of disturbance, isn't it? So Shraddha is a quality of the mind. So when you enter a class, there'll be a lot of distractions, isn't it true? So you look here, and the teacher wahan pe baith ke badbad kar raha hai, ya badbad kar rahi hai. And after the class, you have attendance, but no knowledge. So what is very important is that in our great Indian culture, when you sit for a class, you actually do a prayer, isn't it true? Om Sahana Vavato Sahano Bhunato Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvina Vadi Tamastu Mavid Vishavahi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So uska matlab kya hai pata hai aapko? Ek to hai prayer like a ritual. But the thing is that the students are going and checking where the range of the mobile is. Hello, theek hai? Ha, abhi baat kar sakte hain. So when you enter the class, okay, all distractions gone. In fact, today biggest problem for students is mental distraction, isn't it true? But if your mind is not tuned, whatever be the teacher, whoever be the teacher, the greatest person, you will not receive anything. आप कुछ भी बोलो, लेकिन range ही नहीं है तो क्या फायदा? So you need to develop the attitude of Shraddha. Shraddha means faith to the teacher. Now let me tell you this very clearly, that faith is not blind faith. It is logical faith, okay? So I want to warn you all over here that today, the whole education system has changed because of 2-3 things. Number one is basically information is available everywhere. Isn't it? In the old years, when the student go into the class, they will come to know what is outside the world. Today, the world is right on your fingertips. So many times it happens that what the teacher is telling, you may already know it because of your Google search. But remember, Google search is not research. Google search is not research. You can get a lot of information and it's good. Google, Wikipedia, I also search it. Okay, please understand this. It is all good. But the reality is that when you go inside, even if you are more informed and if you know a lot of things, just sit over there with the attitude of surrender and saying that, okay, teacher jo hai, mere se zyada janta hai ya janti hai. I'm not saying that you don't know, you are a Dumbo. In fact, the best students should actually have more Shraddha. Sometimes I have seen a lot of, since I guide PhD students. Okay, now that's a very high level. And I hope all of you have an aim to do a PhD also. I want India to produce the largest number of PhD students. That's my personal goal. Okay, so when you do your PhD, I've seen a lot of students saying that no, teacher ko kuch nahi aata. So not only in the school or college days, today PhD students also think, teacher ko kuch nahi aata, mera guide ko kuch nahi aata hai. And I get so angry, I get so upset, and I tell the students, listen, you may have a lot of knowledge and maybe more experience in working in a company than your teacher, but teacher is always bigger than you. So don't think that, just because you're more informed, maybe you're more world traveled than your own teacher. Remember one thing, that Shraddha नहीं develop करोगे तो knowledge नहीं मिलेगा. I'll tell you a small story. And it's a real story, okay? I've seen this. So there was a girl, okay? Brilliant singer. क्या गाती थी, you know? Deep classical singer. And if you listen to her, like, you'll get mesmerized. Hindustani classical. So her mother was also a singer, okay? Her mother was also a singer, she was also a singer. So both of their gurus was common. Same guru के दोनों शिष्य थे, माँ और बेटी. So बेटी ने गाया and गुरु वहां पे बैठे थे, तो वाह वाह, like, you know, that आनंद की जो प्राप्ति आती है, that spiritual evolution when you listen to a divine music. So guru was like in trance, and this little girl was so happy, and she went to the guru and said, Guruji, I have one question to ask you. Guruji, हाँ बोला बेटा, क्या है? देखो, आपने मेरी माँ को भी पढ़ाया, मुझे भी पढ़ाया, isn't it? Tell me one thing. Please don't be biased, okay? Please tell me the truth. हाँ बोलिए. Who is a better singer? Who is a better singer? Is it me or my mother? You know what the Guruji answered? Guruji smiled and said, even if you are good, okay, even if you are good, the credit still goes to your mother. Even if you are good, the credit still goes to your mother. You know what does that mean? कुछ भी हो, आप teacher से बड़े नहीं हो सकते. But understand this fact of life, that yes, you will be a brilliant student, but no student can be bigger than your teacher. The teacher may be ordinary, but that ordinary teacher can make a student extraordinary. Shraddha, very important point. So develop this quality that yes, I may be more informed. I'm from a technology generation. I can do anything and everything which my parents can't do. The first Chanakya Neeti is develop Shraddha. Shraddha is not blind faith, it's logical, okay? So use your logic, but have Shraddha on your teacher. The second important thing, you know what is the kind of students Chanakya created? Okay, begin with the end in the mind. Okay, so all of you know you have to study for 3 years, 5 years, whatever, and you'll get a degree, isn't it? So we should know the exit before the entry. Okay, so don't just exit. मैं college में आ गया. How long you have been in the college? 10 years. Why? Because I take 180 KT and one thing I can go on and on and on. You should know when to exit also. So what is the exit? You'll all get this degree and you will become an entrepreneur or get a good job. So one day you have to leave the college. Okay, formally, physically. But that doesn't mean, you leave the college from your heart. You should always come back. Maybe part of the alumni association or whatever. But let me tell you one thing. What is the kind of attitude that Chanakya has in mind when he's teaching the students? And you know what? He is wanting to make everybody a leader. He's a leadership guru, isn't it? And he wanted the students to be Raja Rishis. Remember the second word, okay? Raja Rishi. What is the meaning of Raja Rishi? Raja. But Rishi also is there. So today everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be a leader. I work with so many entrepreneurial cells. And my request to HSNC universities also create an entrepreneurship cell. I'm sure it is also their innovation cell. Because this generation, by the way, parents, please don't get worried about ये job करके पैसा कमाएंगे. ये पढ़ाई करने के time पे पैसा कमा सकते हैं. So today we have to train leaders in the children, not job seekers. As Modi ji very beautifully says, instead of being a job seeker, be a job creator. For that, you have to understand, you have to think like a leader. So Chanakya is teaching Rajaniti to all the future Rajas. All of you should think like a leader. Okay? But remember one thing, not a leader of saying, I know better than you. It is not fighting. It is along with the quality of spirituality. Spiritual leaders, spirituality-based leaders. That is called Raja Rishi. Look at so many great leaders in our country. Okay? Without spiritual base, you are not considered a successful leader. For example, Shivaji, you are from the land Maharashtra, isn't it true? He was called as Srimanta Yogi by his teacher, Samartha Ramdas. Srimanta means rich, wealthy, but andar se yogi. So you have to develop the quality of being a great spiritual seeker. अरे अभी तो मजा करने का टाइम है, अभी थोड़ी स्पिरिचुअलिटी में जाने का. दैट इज अ पोस्ट रिटायरमेंट एक्टिविटी. जब कुछ नहीं रहेगा काम करने के लिए, तब हम लोग ना थोड़ा सा ध्यान करेंगे. नो, I was talking to my father yesterday. He's 85-year-old. He's a yogi. He meditates for 10 hours every day, sitting straight. 10 hours. I only meditate 3 hours a day. I'm a little bit unfortunate. Let me tell you, My father always tells me that, if you don't get into spiritual activities in the youth days, your life is spoiled. You may become successful, you may become popular, but remember, without spirituality, your life is spoiled. You are going to be in college and you see the kind of habits that you create, okay, going to be staying with you lifelong. And look at what is happening. Drugs, alcoholism. Nobody becomes a drug addict in the middle age days or the old age. It all starts in your age group. As a college, we are very much concerned and worried. The laws are very, very clear that, we should not get into all these narcotics and all those things. But let me tell you, my dear friends, you also have to develop that inner strength of resisting when somebody offers you something. See, we are here to support you, but finally it's your choice. So remember one thing, as students, you should have a spiritual base. How to develop spiritual base? I'm not going to give a lecture on that, but I want to tell you that inside you have to be very clear. So every day morning you should do your exercises, yoga, prayer, meditation. You have to. And that is the culture we want to create in India. Our youth is different from the other youth of the world. See, youth is there in every country. Which country doesn't have youth? And to be born and become a young boy or a girl and become old is a natural process. So if there is an American youth or an African youth or an Australian youth or an Indian youth, every country has got a youth. But remember one thing, Indian youth is not just another youth. Indian youth have to be spiritual youth. The people who believe that inner strength is very important. And I'm very fortunate to tell you that our own government, okay, has a very official day declared called the National Youth Day. I hope all of you know this. If you don't know this, better know this now. 12th of January. Okay, 12th of January is celebrated as National Youth Day. It is the birthday of Swami Vivekananda. Okay, and what a youth he was. He died at the age of 39. But as a young boy, as a college student, he spent the best of his time in acquiring philosophy and spirituality. Remember, I want all of you to read his works, his great statements. As a young boy, he was actually a spiritual seeker also and became one of the greatest freedom fighters of our generation. If Mahatma Gandhi is the father of the nation, Swami Vivekananda was the grandfather of the nation. So friends, please understand one thing. You all have to be leaders with a spiritual base. Second word, Raja Rishi. Bahar se Raja bano ya Rani bano, andar se be spiritual. Otherwise, it becomes a power game. My dear friends, please understand this. The world is very dangerous. And unfortunately, what happens? We always believe in competition. You should think about collaboration. एक दूसरे को help करो. Have good friends. Instead of, you versus me, think about you and me. So that's the leadership. Now comes to the third point, which is called Mitra Sambanda. The first one is Shraddha. Second is Raja Rishi. The third Chanakya Neeti for all students is understand the value of Mitra Sambanda. Be friendly with everybody. Don't fight, but choose your friends carefully. Be friendly with everybody, but choose your friends carefully. What is the difference? See, in a college, there'll be thousands of students. And now with the university, there'll be more students, isn't it? So be friendly, but be sharp also. Friends can make you or break you. Okay, so you have to find the right friends. Okay, I'm not telling here to make groups or groupism. No. Remember, a person is an average of the 5 people he surrounds himself with. So, you'll always have this group of this little best friends, as you call it. Choose them carefully. In today's world, you have to understand one thing. You can have a lot of followers and friends on Facebook and Instagram and whatever, But the reality is that the physical friends you'll meet, talk, discuss, they're going to be a lifelong friends. So, sabke saath sambandh rakho. Be friendly, but choose your friends carefully. Your value systems. And if you are having a good positive value, teach it to others. So these are the few years of your life when you will actually make mitras. But the sambandha has to be lifelong. Okay? So ऐसा नहीं कामा पुरता मामा. मेरे को फायदा आया तो मैं इससे friendship करता हूँ. जब भी फायदा नहीं है, टाटा bye bye. You should not be selfish, but you should be careful. Choose your friends carefully. And Chanakya also says, never fight a battle alone. Take some friends along. These friends are going to be lifelong friends. Maybe you'll start some business together. Maybe something like that. And it may be possible that you may find your life partner also in your college. Remember, but we always believe that that is a friendship that sustains our life. So we always say, my wife is my best friend. My husband is my best friend. And we see it's a concern for the society, the number of, divorces that happening because somewhere we don't understand the other person. So learn that skill of understanding the other person right now in your college. So Mitra Sambanda. Okay, friends, I have limited time and the subject is so big. So I gave you 3 formulas of what are the 3 things that Chanakya wanted students to develop. Shraddha, becoming a Raja Rishi, and having Mitra Sambanda. Now I'll address the teachers. Actually, I will do a faculty development program for the teachers separately, okay? But today, since we are having teachers also, I will give you the 3 formulas for the teachers. They can also take a printout and, keep it printed. For the teachers, there are again 3 qualities. The first thing is that word is Shodha. Shodha means research. Teachers have to focus on research. Please understand, we are all becoming a university. Okay, and university is not like a college. Okay, remember one thing: a university has many colleges into it. Like Mumbai University has got almost 800 colleges. What is the difference between a college and a university? University is supposed to be doing a lot of research, and research is what will take you to the global standards. Okay, so all teachers, remember, you have to focus on the word called as Shodha or research. So I would have this one formula for all the teachers. In the olden days, or rather say till now, teachers used to do research. But now in a university, researchers should be teachers. Okay, so please focus your time at least 1 or 2 hours every day to do research. And Google search is not research. There's so many beautiful libraries, there are ebooks available, quality academic research. So when you come to the class, you will suddenly find that you are offering differently what the students are not able to search on Google. So it's very, very important that students can get the input from your research. So don't be just a syllabus teaching teacher. ये खत्म कर दिया क्लास में इतना घंटा attendance. No. Please focus on your research. Shodha. The second one is Raj Guru. Remember, for the students I told, become a Raja Rishi, but all teachers should become Raj Guru. That means you have to inculcate leadership qualities in the students. Initially, it was examination pattern. Our education system is actually an examination system. But today, you should make it a leadership system. There are 60 students in the class. हर बच्चे में leadership quality है. कोई scientist बनेगा, कोई politician बनेगा, कोई teacher बनेगा, कोई जाके artist बनेगा. But everybody should shine in his or her field. कोई sportsman बनेगा, businessman, whatever it is. So you should actually say, you are good, my dear child. You can be a leader. You have to be number 1 in your field. You never know, you have the Virat Kohli sitting in your class. You never know there is an Abdul Kalam sitting in your class. Don't look at him or her as a student. You have a beautiful future with the students. Maybe the girl sitting over there reading a book could be tomorrow Sudha Murthy. So understand one thing, teachers have to look at your students not as the person who are Vidyarthi, okay, but they are going to be the rishis of the future, the rajas of the future. So what is your attitude? Your Chanakya Neeti is you are a Rajguru now of the future rajas and ranis. So first is Shodha, second is make sure you think as a Rajguru, and the third, Vriddha Sanyogaha. The third formula, what does Vriddha Sanyogaha mean? Every teacher gets stuck sometimes, isn't it true? I mean, मुझे आगे पढ़ना नहीं आता. Every teacher has a teacher also. Every teacher also has a teacher. I remember I was sitting with Himlata ma'am once in a cabin, and one teacher had retired. I remember it's a Hindi teacher. And I was so happy. She had kept a letter ready and saying that, sir, aap retire nahi hote. And she gave a letter and said that you continue coming to the institution formally to do something in the Hindi department. I was so touched, ma'am. I could not express in that particular moment. A teacher never retires. In fact, I would go to the extent of telling a teacher never dies. But knowledge can never have death. So you have to understand one thing, all the teachers may think, अभी मैं permanent हो गई क्योंकि वो retire हो गया. वो कभी retire नहीं होता. Maybe that position got filled by you. But the reality is that you have to be in touch with your previous teachers. See, I'm the director of a institution in Mumbai University, Chanakya International Institute of Leadership Studies. I understand all the responsibilities of the principals and teachers. But I always, when I have a problem, I call up my madam. Dr. Shraddha Joshi, madam, what to do? They are retired, but they are more valued. Okay, but unfortunately, we don't value our own teachers. So my teachers, value your teachers. Today, one exercise for all the teachers, okay? Make a list of your favorite teachers and every day, give one call to that teacher. Believe me, they may be old, they may not be able to talk, but they are the ones who created you. Never forget that you are a teacher, but you had the best teachers who made you teachers. Okay? So this is something I want you to practice. So I'll just repeat all the 3 formulas and then we can have a few Q&A, okay? So for the students, 3 words. Shraddha. Okay, have that faith in the teacher. Shraddhavan labate jnanam. Not information gathering students. and not just exam giving student, but the person who's tuned to the teacher. Okay, develop Shraddha in you. Second is become a Raja Rishi. In the college, you all have to show your leadership qualities through the projects, through the assignments, through a lot of festivals that we'll organize, but be a great leader with a spiritual base. Third one, Mitra Sambanda. This is the time to enjoy your life, but support others, help others. And there'll be a lot of people coming from different economic strata of the society. Help them wherever possible, with your knowledge sometimes, with your money sometimes, with your time sometimes. I remember that came in the newspapers, Hemlata ma'am, there's a street girl who was picked up and given admission, who doesn't even have a house. But when you come to know, don't look at her with Deena Daya Bhag. Bechari, Kaika Bechari. She may be the next person who will be the leader. So, have that large-heartedness. We may be coming from different families, from different ecosystems, but Mitra hote hai. Remember the Krishna Sudama story, okay? When you become a successful person, everybody is equal. In the university, everybody is equal, okay? So, Shraddha, Raja Rishi, Mitra Sambanda. For the teachers, Shodha. Focus on research. That's where university's future is. Second is, you have to be a Raja Guru. Teach everybody leadership. Support them. If they take initiatives, go ahead saying that hum tumhare saath hai, aage badho. हाँ बस कोई गलत काम मत करना, illegal काम मत करना, unethical काम मत करना. So create the Raja Rishis so that we have to be the Raj Gurus. And the third one is Vriddha Sanyoga. All teachers should be in touch with your teachers. They are still around. And if they are not around, if the books and research papers are around, refer to that. I hope this 3 points for the teachers and 3 points for the students have been useful. I've tried to simplify Chanakya Neeti in a way that you can understand it as an induction program. But this is only the beginning. I'll have a different program for the students, for the teachers separately. And I'm so glad that I'm part of the university. All the 3 colleges coming together under one umbrella is a grand future for all of you. So thank you so much, teachers, students, and parents who are listening. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pillai. That was beautiful. We are indeed delighted to have you, Mr. Indeed honored that once again you could connect with our students, with teachers, and even their parents. The more I listen to you, the more I feel, that even the writing skills, because students may not have read. So a few lines about your books and how they can be good authors too. So the more I listen to you, I was saying that more I feel that you should speak more, communicate to all our students, be our mentor, be teachers' mentor, and also can we have authors from this batch of HSNT University? Can they write books right away when they join this university? So we would want you to mentor them. And finally, before we take up the questions, can you just give them a few tips that those who have writing skills and they really want to be an author, from where they can start, so that we can take up questions later, and then few tips, sir.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. You actually asked the right question. In my speech, I told the teachers that in your class, there could be a future politician or, Virat Kohli, but also mentioned that there could be a future Sudha Murthy. Okay, now Sudha Murthy, though is the wife of Narayan Murthy, she's also one of India's best-selling authors. So yes, now I'll give you how to be an author. And I'm India's #1 business author. You can go and Google me. All Chanakya books you will find of mine. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, everything is there. But now I'll tell you what are the 3 things to become an author. Okay, first thing, read a lot. An author is first a reader. Okay, so please read a lot. Please use your library. Okay, I know there are a lot of ebooks available, but when you come physically to the college, there's a librarian sitting over there. Use the library. I became an author because I used to read a lot in my college days. Half of my time I used to be in the library, if you're not in the classroom or the canteen or the playground. So first step is read a lot and read different varieties from various countries, various cultures, different types of authors. Read a lot. Second important thing is start writing notes. Reading is not enough. So I can see Hemlata madam making so many notes. And please understand this, I also make notes, see, and I have a file. Now those notes should be kept properly, because you never know when you start actually formally writing, you will run out of ideas. So the first thing is, when you read a lot, keep notes about it. Now the third is start writing small. Don't try to write a book, because a book may have 50,000 words. Why don't you start blogging? Maybe start a small poem. In your college, there'll be a lot of magazines, there'll be walls, so we have these walls. So contribute. So if you think there is a poem you have to write or a short story you have to write, don't be afraid. Write properly, get some guidance from some people who are good and guiding you. But don't wait to become an author. Start writing now. I wrote my first published article when I was in 4th standard. I just wrote a small joke and sent it to Indian Express newspaper and they published it. And believe me, I got 100 rupees also for that. That was a big thing during that particular time. And today's generation, all the students, please understand, as you are going to be YouTubers, a lot of people like to be YouTubers, I know that, but let us also not underestimate the writing world called the blogging world. So why don't you start your small blog? I would suggest all of you that put a small thing, and the blogging is free, and you'll never know that once you slowly start writing, you will develop the confidence. Practice makes you perfect. And I just want to tell you 3 types of writing. One is called as, writing for Swantha Sukha. Swantha Sukha means writing for my own self. So please start writing a diary from today. Okay, so take a notebook every day before you go to sleep, start writing. You'll develop that habit. But that's for myself, not for the world. Okay, but you develop that habit of writing your thoughts. The second thing is basically a research article. So you will see that, teachers will guide you how to write, proper article which will be published. And the third one is book. And so that becomes very popular, reaches to the masses. But even when you want to become a very popular author like a Narayan Murthy, and Narayan Murthy has written a book, Twinkle Khanna has written a book. So many people write books nowadays. It's a great achievement to be an author. Okay, so please start with the 3 steps: write a lot, read a lot, but along with that, make notes and start publishing small. I'll come and take a separate workshop on how to write a book itself. I've written a book called How to Write a Book and Make It a Bestseller. So a lot of tips, and follow it one step at a time. Read a lot to begin with. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can we have questions now? Who's taking forward the questions?
I am taking them.
Saksham, please.
Saksham is there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. We have some questions over our comment sections on the YouTube live channel. The first one is, overthinking is a part of my daily life. How do I make my mind more stable and calm?
Very nice question. Actually, you're right. Thinking is a problem and overthinking is another problem. Not thinking is a problem and overthinking is a problem. Okay. So a lot of people don't think at all. In fact, Chanakya has got a process. It's called as Anvikshiki. Anvikshiki is a subject of how to think correctly. And Chanakya actually taught students Anvikshiki. Maybe I'll talk about that later. But I've written a book called as Inside Chanakya's Mind, Anvikshiki and the Art of Thinking. So I'll repeat it for those people interested. Anvikshiki and the Art of Thinking by Radhakrishna Pillai. You can go and search it. Now you're right. Coming to the question, a lot of people don't think. That's dangerous. Some people overthink. And they overanalyze. And intelligent students have this problem also. And I've seen this not only in the student days, but even professionals have this problem, especially when you're a scientist. Thinking, and you develop psychological problems. I've seen that with very renowned people also, So what I'm saying is that how do you balance not thinking and overthinking? Somebody said it nicely. If you overanalyze, it's not good. Analysis leads to paralysis. So it's important not to overthink. But so how do you do that? 3 steps I'll tell you. Number 1, in life, you should know that you should also not think sometimes. As I did. So what is important is that if you're thinking so much and you're aware that, it's like becoming too much, the first thing I would say is that, do some pranayam, physical exercises, because thinking can drain your energy. While thinking takes a lot of energy. So if you see people who are depressed, okay, you will see the state of their mind, you look at their eyes. So you see that person is in a different world. So what is very important, the first thing to do is that physical exercise with pranayama. You know why? Because the breath has got a connection with the body and the mind. If you want to be a good thinker, you have to be physically fit. So do exercise every day. So that is physical fitness, pranayam. So, if you are overthinking and even depression, one of the very important exercises is that breathe a lot. Third thing is meditate. Because, meditation is the process in which you calm down your mind. And the last thing I want to tell you that if at all you got into the stage of, depression, anxiety and all those things, please speak to somebody. Never be isolated. The problem with overthinkers are that they become very secluded and they become uncommunicatable. And it's very dangerous. Apne dunya mein rehte hain. So if you find any child who is not communicating at all and you look at his or her eyes and saying there's a problem, please bring it to the notice. And today all the universities, colleges have counselors also available. So I think if you've discovered that you're overthinking, stop it. But how to stop it? Start with physical movements, eat the right food, exercise, do some pranayama, meditation, yoga. And yes, if you think it's going beyond it, seek some help from your friends and family or professional counselors. But overthinking is not good, but not thinking is also equally not good. Right thinking is the best thing to develop your intellect. Thank you.
So the next question is from Piyush. The question is, how should we start research as students and what is the best way to do it?
Very beautiful question. I love this. Ma'am, you got fantastic students. Okay, they're already thinking about research because this is what universities have to do. Okay, now coming back, remember the 4 steps of research. I want all of you to write it down. Okay, so one is called information. Okay, second is called knowledge. Third is called as insights, and the fourth is called wisdom. Okay, so research generally goes through these 4 steps: information, knowledge, wisdom, and insight. I'll explain to you. So if you're a student, suppose you're doing a research on a particular topic. Let's say, I'll give you a simple example, Corona, or maybe there's a social problem right now, people are getting depressed and all those things. So what do? So first step of research is gathering information. Fortunately for your generation, you can get information at fingertips. So Google karo, news karo, wo karo. So gather information, but you should know which is authentic information and which is unauthentic information. That's a skill you should develop. So in Google also, there is an option called as Google Scholars. So it is not general Google, okay? So that academic research. So first is gather maximum information, read about that particular subject and field. But you have to understand one thing, only information gathering is not enough, because you can get confused. Too much of information becomes another problem. So we say, information pollution, too much, isn't it? So you should know the first process of gathering the right information. Second is knowledge. From the information, when you analyze, you will get some knowledge output out of it. Isn't it true? So for example, let's say people are getting depression. So you have the statistics and think that, okay, every second person has got this particular anxiety, this, that. That's information. But then you say, okay, what is the knowledge part of it? So are there doctors working, health doctors or health workers, mental health experts? So they are the knowledgeable people of that field. Ask them. So when you're doing research, there is something called as interviews. So you must have seen, talk to somebody, find out. So knowledgeable people will give you what is called the third step called insight. Okay. So for example, there is a person, if I'm not mistaken, is a very famous mental health expert. I think Harish Shetty, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've seen his color.
Harish Shetty, yes.
Harish Shetty, right? Yes. So if you look at it, now you have gathered information, but you have a talk by Harish Shetty, sir. I think you should call him. He's a very interesting person. So he comes in, he's a knowledgeable person. But what does a knowledgeable person do? He's a wise person also, isn't it? So he knows the wisdom and he gives you an insight. Saying, aise hota hai. He's got information, he's got knowledge, he's a wise person, he knows the wisdom, and he gives you insight. So I'll tell you something very frankly, when you do research, it is a journey from I to I with 4 steps. From information to insight. Okay, and your insight has to be original. And that's where you actually get your PhD. Your PhD is never based on information. That's why there's a lot of plagiarism around. What people do is gather information, cut copy, and say, "Mera PhD thesis ho gaya." No, people are smart, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी इतने पढ़े होते हैं आपको पता चलता है कि दिस इज जस्ट कोलेशन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन, क्यूरेशन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन. नो, इंफॉर्मेशन इज इंपॉर्टेंट, नो डाउट, बट इनसाइट. सो व्हाट आर द फर्स्ट स्टेप? Very important, gather information, but go to knowledgeable people who are wise people, who have experience in that field. And then with that, you will develop an insight. And it's a long journey. Please understand, you will never get an insight by doing it over for 2 days. Aaj mere ko insight milega. No. Our rishis meditated for so many years and they discovered certain laws of the universe. I've been with Chanakya for 20 years and suddenly something strikes me. Like, wow. So understand one thing, it's a lovely question, ma'am. I think you got the fantastic researchers for your university. Okay, I'm so impressed. That's an amazing question. Thank you so much. I'm impressed. So 4 steps: information, knowledge, wisdom, and insight. So be an insightful person, not a person who gathers over information. Thank you.
So the next question is, there is a flood of content that is made every second. How to manage the content we consume as it affects us directly?
Don't manage information, manage yourself. So the problem is that information is becoming an overload. And therefore, it's very important to have digital breaks from time to time. Okay. And today we have this whole thing, कि WhatsApp को every 10 seconds नहीं देखेंगे तो we are left out. So somewhere it's a mental addiction of gathering information. So I'm telling you, I'm not telling you don't use WhatsApp or Instagram, So I'm a person who believes in technology. I've always used technology for good reasons. But it's very important to develop the quality of detachment. See, understand one thing, technology never binds you. We get binded by technology. टेक्नोलॉजी हमको ये नहीं बोलता है कि नोटिफिकेशंस ऑन रखो, हमारे पास ऑप्शन है ना ऑफ रखने के लिए, बट वी कीप इट ऑन, टुंग 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 टुंग, अरे हु टोल्ड यू? In the same way, what is very important is that information will come, and let me tell you, in the future it is going to be more faster, bigger, and larger. So if you think you are getting 500 messages today, just wait for 5G to come. I don't know whether you're aware of this. In the technology field today, we are still at 4G. The government and all companies are discussing of 5G. 5G is already there in China, by the way. Okay. When it starts, so one technology expert was telling me, it will be 1/10 the cost. 5G is 1/10 the cost and 100 times more speed and information. You see the difference? So अगर आप 10 रुपया अगर यूज कर रहे हो तो 5G में आप 1 रुपया यूज करोगे, लेकिन आपको अगर 100 information मिलता है तो 1000 information मिलेगा. But you will go mad. So that's what I'm saying. It's very important to take digital breaks. My simple suggestion is that you decide in a day how many times you will take a digital break, at least for half an hour or 1 hour. Okay, so you decide, I don't know. It depends on you and your schedule. I have this simple practice. When I go to bed, okay, half an hour before that, I stop using my mobile. जो emergency हो आ जाएगा. सबको लगता है the world will only operate if I am around. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. If I don't check the mobile, something will happen. Nothing is going to happen. So at least you should know, and especially, a lot of people are having sleep-related problems because they're addicted to the mobile, even in the night. So one practice which has helped me is that, let's say I'm going to sleep at 11 o'clock. So what I'm saying, 10:30 onwards, I keep it away slowly, and I don't look at it. So many times when you get up in the night, impulsively you go and check the mobile. I said, it's okay, yaar. But what I'm saying, it's somewhere I'm not telling you, mere jaisa ho jao, lekin kahin na kahin, start with 1 hour of digital break every day, consciously. Even if there's a phone ringing, it's okay. Don't take it up. Give a call back after that 1 hour. Okay, so make the discipline, but slowly it will become a habit. Today, unconsciously, we got addicted to our information, but consciously get, habitual to good information. That's why you can subscribe to good channels. So let's say you have 1 hour. So instead of just looking at a crap video, go to TEDx videos. So, TEDx is fantastic. If you go to great, I suggest you something for those people who are interested in research. There are huge companies giving good content free of cost. One simple thing which many people don't know, there is a program that happens in the head office of Google. It is called as Talks at Google. So they invite some world scholars, Nobel laureates to give talks at the Google office. Think about it. And it's available free of cost. Imagine you can understand what Google is thinking. Who are the advisors to Google? So when I have 1 hour, I say, let me listen to them. Listen to some great experts. So what I'm saying is that gather information, but the right information, and stop information coming into you when it is not required. Have that self-discipline. Thank you.
So we have a question from Samruddhi Jadhav.
Yeah.
Sir, as you told before, Mitra Sambanda means being friendly with everyone. But what about the people or friends who doesn't match our vibe, but we need them for our future need?
Yeah. So as I told you, be friendly with everyone, but choose your friends carefully. So if somebody needs you, understand the need, okay, and resolve the need, but don't stick around. It's a very important quality. हमारा क्या हो जाता है, expectation बढ़ जाता है. मैंने उसको काम, suppose I help somebody, he should or she should tell me thank you, thank you, thank you. And because that person has not told thank you, it becomes a lifelong enmity. You never told me thank you also. That person must have forgotten. But तुम्हारे mind में वो चलते रहता है. So it is very important that, we'll have a group of people. Don't try to be judgmental with everybody. People will come, they'll have their own interest. Sometimes you go to somebody to ask a specific question. That's okay. But when I'm telling you the second part, you have to be very clear who your close friend circle are. So in a class, you can be friendly with all the 60 or 50 students. But at 5 students, you have to carefully think. But remember one thing, if you've chosen those friends, then you have to be friendly with them lifelong. In health or, sickness, in life and death, you are friends forever. And it will happen. It won't happen overnight, because suddenly you are flooded into a university or a college with so many options. It goes through a cycle where, you understand. Sometimes there are some, relations that hurt you also. There are some, good and bad experiences. But life gives you that maturity. But remember one very important formula: never hate anybody, even if that person has hurt you. Okay? Never hate anybody, even if that person has hurt you. Because see, what is happening? That hurt is temporary, but that hate can remain forever. So you should know two things: to forgive the other person, but more important, you should know how to forgive yourself. So this is very important. Okay, love yourself. Sometimes we feel so guilty about certain incidents in our life. We hate the other person, but actually we get affected more. So hurt does happen in every relationship. It's natural. We are human beings with emotions, isn't it true? Expectations hota hai, but somewhere that's where spiritual qualities require. Forgive yourself. That's a very great sadhana. Very difficult to follow, but very important to practice. So kahin na kahin बैठो and guilt जो है अपने मन से निकाल दो. Because if you're guilty, you take wrong decisions in life and hatred continues. So life में जाने दो ना यार. और अगर जिंदगी में जरूरत है तो वापस आएगा. अपना टाइम आएगा और उसका टाइम भी आएगा. अपना टाइम जाएगा, उसका टाइम भी जाएगा. So be a great, satisfied, contented person in every relationship and every friendship. Be friendly, but choose your friends carefully.
Ma'am, can we take some more questions?
Yes, if he's free.
Yes. Another 2 more questions.
Okay. Thank you.
So the first question there is, I'm an introvert. I have ideas, but I am shy toward them. What should I do to develop confidence and move towards building leadership skills?
Yeah. You are an introvert means what? Okay. You are not able to communicate to others. But I'll tell you one thing. Okay? Every introvert needs an expression. Many times people think that introvert is the one who doesn't talk. That is only one form of introvert. So if you're an introvert, I would say, please start communicating. Okay, please speak to somebody. Because see what I mean, you may not talk to 100 people, but you should have that little friend circle, isn't it? That simple 5 friends I told you. So communicate to them, talk to them. It can be in a family also. Maybe your cousin, maybe your brother, sister. Speak to somebody, because introvertness can actually lead to mental problems later on if you're not communicating to others. For girls, it's a little bit easy because they at least talk a lot. So whenever they're having some depression, they'll call up a friend, blah, 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 okay, they're free. Many times boys are not very emotionally stable because they don't know how to let it out. So I'll tell you what to do if you're an introvert. Good, you at least realize. Just talk to somebody whom you have confidence in and who will not judge you. And I'll tell you who is the best person? Your mother. Okay? She understands you because for her, you are actually an extension of her mind and body. She's seen you in the womb and out of the womb also. But don't go and talk to your mother when she's busy in the kitchen and 10 people are watching, khana kab aa raha hai, So look at your mother's mood. Just tell her, Mama, I want to talk to you for 5 minutes. It's very important. Okay. And the mother will understand it, because nobody can understand you better than your own mother. Okay. So it's very important to express it out. Mother is an example because that works with every person. 100%. Guaranteed wala formula hai. But if not, if you have a friend or person, speak to somebody. I'll give you a second point. Okay, speak to somebody. The second one, if you don't know, but you still have to express, then do something. There are different forms of communication. Talking is only one form. Writing communication, written communication. Okay. So write it out. As I told you, diary writing can be also good exercise. So start writing to yourself. Or maybe if you have to express to somebody but you can't speak, and say, write it down and say that I want to express something to you. In fact, I'll tell you a joke. During our college days, we were also, in our days, the boys and the girls were literally poles apart. But if somebody liked the girl and, they didn't know how to tell her that I love you, then, all these introvert boys, what they used to do is that, communicate through somebody. So usko friend who is an extrovert, yaar, bata usko, and they used to communicate to the girl through. Or we used to call them as postman, So हमने letter लिख के वो इस देता था. That's the fun part of it. But I'll tell you something. If that expression, whatever thoughts is there in your mind, if you don't speak out to somebody, it becomes a volcano. Okay, and it bursts out afterwards. So what I'm saying is that it could be a small thing or a big thing. It could be a relationship matter. It could be an issue in studies. I don't know, whatever it is. Okay? It's very important that you don't keep that problem to yourself. That's why discuss with somebody who's more matured, who can handle that for you. Write it down. And another formula. Okay, most introverts are actually good. Many people consider introvertness as actually a negative thing. It is not. In fact, I'll tell you, if you're a researcher, being an introvert is a good quality. Because introverts are cut off from the world. That doesn't mean you have to be non-communicable, but introverts can actually focus on one thing for a long period of time. Because the mind is not external, isn't it? In fact, I always tell my PhD students, if you want to be a PhD student, don't be extrovert. So in the research, if you're able to sit down and focus and read a book for 4 hours, isn't that a quality? So look at your introvertness as something that you can actually give it a positive turn. So introverts can become guilty, non-communicable, but the same quality can be used positively. So say, suppose you want to be an artist. Okay. So introvert can actually express by sitting there and making a painting out of it or writing a book out of it, isn't it? So what I'm saying is that don't look at saying that if I'm not able to communicate. In fact, the greatest scientists are actually introverts. They sit down, do the research. But remember one thing, that also has to be communicated. If you're not communicating, then it's a problem. But if you're over communicating, also it's a problem. Oh, the bakwas ban kar yaar, you are such an extrovert guy. Go sit down in one corner. So the right balance is external and internal discipline. So if you're an introvert, do all these things, you will come out of it positively. Thank you.
We'll take the last question for the day, sir. It's from Sahil Nagwani. Sir, how to make reading as a habit and which books are good to read?
Read all my books. The reason I'm telling is that, friends, I realized one thing. There are 2 kinds of books. Okay. One is the general academic syllabus textbooks and then general reading. Okay. And believe me, friends, it is a very, very, very dangerous to tell you that, 5 years ago, not today, 5 years ago, when I actually read the National Readership Survey, the government of India has got a kind of a survey, readership surveys. You'd be surprised, 93% of the books sold in India were actually textbooks. That is our reading culture. So actually we study books to give exams. But let me tell you, there are different types of books also. So what is important is that we read because there is an exam coming up, isn't it? Mano book ko haath bhi nahi lage. An exam hone ke baad to usko raddi mein bechte hain. So you understand, the first fundamental thing is that there is a world of books other than textbooks. So what I'm saying is that read good books. Read valuable books, because there's scrap books also. In our generation we used to call it chiclet books. What are the chiclet books? Then the chiclet used to be like a chewing gum. I don't know whether it still exists. So you chew it as long as the juice is and then you spit it out. There is no value. So these chiclet books, they're good. Mills and Boons. It's good. Sometimes it's fun to just have a little bit of reading and all this crap. Newspapers also is considered chiclet. You read it. Deepika ko kya hoga, usko kya hoga, uske baad kya? I mean, your life is your life, right? So what is very important is to read simple books, but quality books. And there are hundreds of them. Why am I suggesting you my book? Not because, I'm a great writer, but I always believe that if you don't write simple books, people will not appreciate you. So Chanakya is an academic book. Ram. You have studied 6,000 sutras in Sanskrit. मैं बोला कौन पढ़ने वाला है? मैं पढ़ लिया, researcher. सब lecture दे रहा हूँ. But I realized I have to take it to the common man. So if you read my book, there is a book I would suggest all of you to start with. It's a story of a college youth who doesn't know what to do in life. It's called Chanakya in You. Okay, so he reads, and simple book. Okay, I've written like a Katha Chanakya. Corporate Chanakya can be read by college students also, and a chairman of a company also. Chanakya 7 Secrets of Leadership, that is with D. Sivanandan, who is the Director General of Maharashtra Police. So you look at my 17 books, they're amazing. I'll send the list, but that doesn't mean restrict only to Radhakrishna Pillai. Okay, there are so many books. I'll tell you, please read Sudha Murthy's books. Oh, what a books! If you're not read Sudha Murthy, then you should. I will come and shoot each one of you. That lady, so much at the peak of success. If you look at her, she's like a grandmother telling stories, which teaches you values. Okay, so friends, if you don't have the habit of reading, shame. But you have a good future. Start today. Good question, excellent question. Read beyond textbooks. It's important to read simple books. And let me tell you, it's also a good habit. Okay, the good habits that you like one book, you look for the second book and the third book. I know of so many students who never had book habits, and at 42 they started reading other books, and they say I read 3 books a week. Somewhere starting का problem है, but एक बार अच्छी book से शुरुआत कर दे, it's a lifelong good habit to keep. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering all the questions. I'm sure all the viewers have taken something, because there was something for all the students, the teachers, and also the parents that were here. Thank you so much. I now hand over to Ritika Pathak ma'am for proposing the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm indeed honored to propose the vote of thanks for such a wonderful session. Thank you so much, Dr. Pillai, for giving these wonderful insights on the Chanakya Neeti for students and for teachers. It's going to be a lifelong learning for us, and we're going to take these three Neetis with us: Shodh, Rajguru, and Vritta Sayo, for teachers specifically. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank our respectable principal, Dr. Bagla, Dr. Ramchandani, and Dr. Balani for giving us the guidance and making sure that we can hear such wonderful speakers. Thank you, Dr. Manjula Srinivasan, for organizing this wonderful session, and the Department of Mass Media. Thank you to all the teachers of HR College, KC College, and BTTC for being here, and the students, of course. Last but not the least, the students who asked such questions and made it an interactive session for all of us. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
So before we end, once if everyone is fine with it, Dr. Pillai is still there?
Yeah, I am around. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. So I believe that session may got over with vote of thanks, but I'm actually wanting to tell the students that today was the 5th session of the week, and there's so many speakers who came to know about this. They are also getting in touch. I've got parents to tell me, can we continue this week again? And can we have different individuals and eminent speakers continuing? Because even they are enjoying the sessions till we start this week here. So today I would say that I wish after your talk, Dr. Pillai, the whole batch of HSNC University, the first batch, even the students who are from second year, third year, and JC classes also are watching this program. Even the students from other HSNC board institutions, other colleges of the board who are watching this program. All the viewers, I believe that they become all-round masters and leaders and great students like Chanakya, and then great teachers. They may take any profession, but teaching can be integral part of whichever profession you take. If you are a sports person also, still you can become a coach. So teaching ingredient can be part of any profession. So I hope they become that. And I'm sure with your insights and expertise, Dr. Pillai, and as we discussed, we want to make a Chanakya Club. I hope it comes through this year. Will definitely help all the students to become new masters of the 21st century. So I would request my dear students of HR College, KC College, Bombay Teachers Training College, and all the students, irrespective of whichever institution you belong to, please revisit this YouTube and take away the extract of the nectar from today's very important talk by Dr. Radhakrishna Pillai, and please use it to make positive changes in your life. Imagine, I told you, I also make notes because I am a student with all of you, a part of your class. So imagine we all are classmates and will continue to be classmates. So thank you, Dr. Pillai, for joining us to guide our students. It was a joy listening to you, as I always say. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Also, one more announcement before we part and meet again tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Dear friends, tomorrow we have a wonderful speaker again. Dr. Pillai, you also can join. We have invited Dr. A.P. Jayaraman. You must have heard of him. A great orator, great speaker. He's a president of STEAM Academy, nuclear scientist, chairman, National Center for Science Communicators, and trustee of IDF, Indian Development Foundation. And when I spoke to him about speaking to our students from media, management, technology, commerce, BAF, BBI, BFM, FY, JCs, and I asked him that, can you give a topic which can connect all? He said, yes, and I will read this topic, but you have to imagine what he has written to me, thinking on unscientific things. And he has put in the bracket. So you can read as thinking on scientific things, or thinking on unscientific things. So is in the bracket. Or what is science, question mark. But he has also written in the bracket not. What is not science? So thinking on unscientific things, or what is not science, I think it will cover all the disciplines. So it is for all of them. So don't think a nuclear scientist cannot talk to you if you are from management or commerce. So he is president of STEAM Academy. He talks about science, technology, education, and media and medicine. He talks on every topic. He talks to school students, to elders. So you'll have a wonderful session. As you enjoy Dr. Pillai's session, you will enjoy as my Dr. Jaraman session. So we'll meet again tomorrow 11 o'clock. Invitation to Dr. Pillai, if you're free, please join us.
Of course, of course.
And thanks to all of you, and thank all the wonderful ladies and gentlemen who handled this program, Manjula Madam and Dr. Pooja Ramchandani, Dean of Commerce and Management, Principal HR College. We had all the other principals who have joined this, all the teachers of KC and HR, Vice Principal of KC HR, and dear students and parents of KC and HR, and all the colleges of HSNC Board institutions. Thank you and God bless you. See you tomorrow at the...
Ma'am,
Yes.
can I just add a small comment here, if with your permission?
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, we can also ask the students who have been regularly attending for some suggestions. If they want a particular kind of session which they think we have missed out on, we can always incorporate it with your guidance into the future sessions that we have in the next week, in case they are insistent. And yeah.
And also, we'll be sending the Google form as a feedback. We want your feedback, children. I shouldn't say children, friends. Now they are not in 12th. So feedback form, you may write your suggestions. We have written that question there. So you rightly pointed out. Very soon it will be sent all of to you, and you will have to give a report. And before you start your academic year, the report will be taken as your... Yes, a part of internal evaluation. Should I be giving you marks? No, but we'll consider that you have been part and parcel of the lectures which we are organizing. So it's compulsory to listen to fantastic speakers. And what a joy attending such lectures. So this is a curriculum. This curriculum was Chanakya Neeti. So you must make a note of it. And those who are ready with notes, we will do consider your fabulous participation. You'll get points, and these points will accumulate to give you awards. So God bless you. So thank you, Manjula. This will be part of the feedback form which we have written. They'll be sent across. Just check that, and we will see that, what they want. So we should give them the cuisine they want. So thank you, Dr. Pooja, for wonderful beginning, and Dr. Pillai.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And a wonderful presentation by Dr. Pillai. Wonderful.
Wonderful. Great learning for all of us.
Wonderful. I'm a fan of Chanakya Neeti. I read it, and listening to Pillai sir is something wonderful.
Thank you so much. And we, with the permission of Dr. Pillai, we can end the meeting. Dr. Pillai, we may discuss.
Shall I end the meeting, ma'am, with your permission?
Bye, Pillai sir.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.